Good afternoon, Bob's Barn Workshop fans. I'm back in the workshop today. You can see all my projects I got going. There's the sandplaster booth. We'll get back to that. I got 4 new tires to mount. Take off the old ones. I'm tired of used tires. Got closet doors I'm working on. The heater I painted yesterday. But today I want to fool around with one more thing. And that's this mini bike throttle linkage. Now you can see the linkage that I got hooked up works really well. I drilled a hole here in this arm and I bent a new rod and fiddled around with the length, and it's a perfectly straight rod, really nice. Throttle works good. The issue that I have is that it's really touchy. I mean, it doesn't take much to go, you know, you hit bumps and you're going wah, 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 wah on that throttle, you know. When you got a hold of the grip. And to reduce the sensitivity of the throttle, I need to move this point closer to the point of rotation. So I'm thinking, if you look right there, there's a flat spot. I'm going to drill this hole back over there. Well, what the problem is this whole plate interferes, but I don't need that plate. That plate is just in my way, so I'm going to take the grinder and I'm going to cut that right off. There's the mounting hole. I'm going to cut the corner of this plate off so it's out of the way, and it won't interfere with my new rod. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to show you taking this. I got to take this bolt out, loosen up the nuts and the cable, and when I get it apart, I'll get to show you what I did. I've got the plate mounted in the vise upside down here, and I had this side mounted, and I first sawed off this part, which is the ear that usually faces forward on the engine, and I got that out of the way. Now what I'm doing is I'm cutting right straight down along here. It's a little wangly, so I'm cutting it with the hacksaw very slowly. Alrighty, so what I did is, which end did I do it on? Oh yeah, okay, right here. It stuck out here and here with a big plate on this throttle. So first thing I cut off this way, then I turned it on its back and I cut gently this way. And then I used a file to deburr this because it left a sharp edge. So all that whole bracketry is out of the way because my throttle comes in from the front anyway. And I might hack this whole lever thing off because who needs this hanging out on the brush? What I'm going to do is, I said, I'm going to drill my hole right there on that flat spot. So it gives me the shortest fulcrum. It shortens the fulcrum up by about 1/3, which should give me a lot. Now I've got a drill bit in here that's just slightly under 3/32. The hole I end up with is 3/32. So I'm going to drill the final hole with the 3/32. This is just a pilot bit here. Now that comes in right there. And I'm going to drill another one just in case that one doesn't work out where I want it. The TIG rod that I'm using is 3/32 though, so. Give that a little wangle like that to deburr it. And let's see if the rod wants to fit. Of course, the mini bike's sitting on top of it. Now that 3/32 rod, yeah, needs to be reamed out just a little more. I don't want any more slop than I need to have. Alright. That seems to fit. all I've got is fractional bits. Okay, there we go. All I've got is fractional bits, so the steps are too large to go to a next bigger bit to ream that out. So now I'm going to go back and we're going to install this on the bike and try to fiddle with that rod length. Okay, I got to take my shirt off, my fleece off. It's a little warm in the barn. It's awful nice to have a nice warm barn, isn't it? Still cold out there. It's 40 degrees today. Alright, I'm going to save this rod because this rod worked perfectly for the first hole. So he's just going to be set aside. We'll see how this guy looks fit back on here. See, now all that metal is out of the way, which is what I was going for. Now when I put these screws back in for the final assembly, I will put Loctite on them. Blue Loctite, because, you know, I don't see a lot of guys doing these projects don't. And let's face it, these machines are like little paint shakers. You know they're going to shake stuff out. So I choose to put blue Loctite on everything, even the spindle nuts and all that. You can break them free real easy with a wrench in the field. Now these little nuts are 8mm, or actually they're little flanged bolts, aren't they? And we'll use a little 1/4-inch drive to get them in here. I think I'm going to cut that lever off too. There's no sense of having that there. If I have rods way back here, I don't need all this. Alright. You guys can mod these things any way you want. Right now I just disconnected the rod from the springs from the governor, and I took the governor arm off the shaft in a previous video if you saw that. I haven't torn the guts of the engine apart yet. I don't really want to take the governor off. Okay, we're just going to snug that down. So first we got to start out with, for the engine, or from the throttle plate. Excuse me. We need a 90-degree bend. So I'm going to make about a 3/8-inch stud. Just like that. Ooh, I don't like the looks of that. I'm going to cut that off. Alright, start over again. Now, you're going to end up having to file this down to shot size anyway. We can always cut the length off. So now I'm going to make that almost a perfect 90. Because it's got to fit down in the throttle there. Now, to keep this from popping out so easy, well, let's see before I even get started here. I might not need to do that. Alright. What I did last time is I just sort of squeezed down on this and rotated it in the pliers to shave it down and get that plating off it. Let me show you that. Put this in the jaws of the pliers and rotate it like this. That's actually reducing the diameter of that rod a little bit, taking that copper plating or whatever that plating is on this TIG rod off, and deburring the end of it all at the same time, because that needs to drop down into that throttle, and I think she will now. So what we'll do, that's resting. Okay, we want it to rest like that. I'm trying to hit that hole back up in there. So what I need to do is I need to come out about a 1/2 inch from that bend. I need to come out about a 1/2 inch from that bend and bend this up slightly so that we're headed uphill towards that hole I want to hit. Alright, alright. And that's a little too much. And I'm just going to eyeball this. We're going to have to wangle this back and forth a little bit until we decide. I want to make sure this got a little leeway. It looks like right about there she needs to bend up. So I'm going directly up with a 90, nearly a 90, and then immediately try to bend my top finger over. Now what I've found is you just got to keep rocking it. You bend this way, you bend that way, you bend this way, you bend that way, and that actually looks pretty good. Okay, so here's what we got. Coming out of the throttle plate up to that hole. Not quite as much bend there. And then we got to cut that off pretty short. These players actually have wire cutters in there. Cut that off pretty short, and the same thing, I'm gonna deeper that edge like so. And now I might have to take that throttle plate back off to get this to fit. Yeah, I do. But it's a bit too short, I think. We'll see. As long as I can get full throttle in return, we're all set. So see if this drops down in there. Alright. And we want to put that guy in that hole on the flat. Just like that. No. I think I might have to cut that shorter, I'm not sure. But hey. Yeah, see that's... it's too long. Actually, it's... oh, I put the old... I think I put the old one back in. Duh! Alright, never mind. Wrong rod. Let me put him out of the way. Here's the new one. Let me deburr that a little bit. I think I already did on this one. Let's see if he'll fit through the hole. Yeah. Yeah. That's a ticket. How does he ride in here? It's a little tight. One time at band camp, you got to make sure that it goes down in there far enough. I'm going to bend that a little more. It's just not bent down square enough yet. There we go. Let's see how that works. There we go. Nice and free now. Now let me see. This can't be lifting up on that any at all. So I've got to just tweak it as I go. Now see, oh no, maybe not. See, now that'll go from there to idle. That's idle. Something's interfering. Okay. So that's in the idle position, and I need to make this about a 1/4 inch longer. Alright, so we'll just start another one. I'll be back when I make the other rod. So I rebent a similar rod. And it seems to work okay. The only thing I have right now is a little interference with the throttle stop screw. A lot of guys pull those out completely, but then your throttle lever is pulling as hard as it can right against that butterfly in the linkage, the throttle butterfly, and I don't like that, so I set the throttle stop right at full throttle, so it kind of gives the hardware a little bit of a break to stop against. And we'll see how this works. This could have been another 1/8 inch longer. And of course I don't want my throttles jamming on me. But this should lessen the twitchiness I was having. And so this is really pretty much free if you can find yourself a piece of wire somewhere. Nope. Yeah, it doesn't work. Alright, so the throttle moves and returns perfectly. I'm going to put another spring on this, which I have. And what do you think, guys? I think it'll be less twitchy. Oh, and it's missing the throttle stop too, with no problem. There's full throttle. That doesn't have anything to do with it, and it returns to idle without hitting that screw. So I don't have to do nothing with that. Do anything with that. One thing I do need to do is I need to attach my throttle cable to that nut first because the seat's in the way. So I'm going to pull this back off for a second, and then we'll put it back together. I'm also thinking about, you see this breather? I'm thinking about taking it and turning it around the other way and cutting a little bit of it off and poking a hole in my air cleaner somewhere here, because that only needs to go on that far. It should be, if I put it right up tight, I should be able to bring that into the top like that. That's what I'm going to do, and then cut it to the right length. Then that's fixed. Then all I need to do is get the little filter for the fuel tank breather. Okay, so I'm going to take this back off, adjust the throttle cable, and I'll show you how to do that once I get it back on, but I'm not sure. Maybe I can. I don't know. I'll give it a try. I want that screw to be tight though. So anyway, my cable's getting a little chewed up here. But the part that's chewed up is out beyond where it goes through the connector. And I gotta keep these strands twisted up tight. Alright, that's not working either. My screwdriver took a walk on me. There it is. Alright. I'm going to make sure this is loose enough. That won't interfere at all. It's a little bit of an awkward place to try to work on this, that's all. Alright, come on. Baby, there we go. She made it through. Now, the other portion of this video is going to be adding the extra fuel tank to this. And that screwdriver. So, alright, new screwdriver. Yeah, that bites. Okay. It's firm, but don't crush it. Make sure she works. She does. And that's in the relaxed position. So that's where you want to rest your throttle. Just pull a little bit of slack out of it that you got. got to put a 10mm on that, or how about my pliers? Hey, give me the pliers, porcupine. These linkages aren't super tight anyway. Look at that stud wiggle around. Alright. Full relax, full relax. Let me back that full off just a little bit. That's just about the same spot I was last time. Okay, that's yanked up hard. I'm going to just touch that to it so I'm not slamming against that plastic. Alright, well that should make it less touchy. That's about it. Now, I saved the little light wimpy spring that came off from the return spring from the governor. So I'm going to stretch that pretty far. Put him right in there just as an added return spring. And now I think we need to do a test drive, don't you? Alright. Well, wait a minute. I'm going to put the air cleaner back on temporarily. Well, I'm going to drill that hole. I got to find out how big this hole is and see if I can make a hole for it. Okay, we're all modded. What I did was I just took a nice sharp 1/2-inch drill bit, put a 2x2 off the bench, and drilled right through that rubber into that air cleaner base. And now we're just going to try a test fit here to see where I need to cut this dog, right about there. Alright, so I just made a finger mark and put that back on where it should be, I think. Got my clamp on here. And stick that right on there to get that little problem taken care of. It's okay, so now I got my breather on there. Where's my clamp? Dang it. Oh, there it is right there. Alright. Get the clamp back on. Alright. Put that on the bottom so it's out of the way. So as you can see, that's real easy, real quick and dirty. There we go. Open that baby up and get it around there. Alright. Now, you can see that that's not going to interfere with that air cleaner at all. And our pollution control device is taken care of. One less thing you have to buy a part for. Alright, alright. Methinks we're almost ready. Tighten up that air cleaner clamp. We don't want no doit in the engine. I don't have a throttle, or I mean a choke control lever here, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. We just stick this guy down through there. What I've been doing for now. Zero interference, returns nicely. I think we're golden. Alright, time for a test drive. I'm off camera for the startup, but you know how that works. Throttle switch on, choke on, fuel on. Yes, he wants to go. that seems a lot better, guys. The engagement of the clutch, that's abrupt too, but the throttle's nowhere near as touchy as it was. We'll be seeing you guys at Busco Beach here in a couple of weeks. For the mini mayhem ride, we've got Busco Beach, North Carolina, the 13th, 14th. Meeting up with some of the online YouTuber guys. Now to put the fuel tank on. Alright, that might be another little quick project, putting the fuel tank on. Alright guys, God bless. One thing I did want to add is when I remove this upper plate extension out here on this throttle assembly plate, I believe it rode really close to the top of this throttle butterfly here and kept the rod from popping out. Well, the way my rod was built, it would come straight up out of that slot in the idle position. So what you can see, I just put a little kink in the wire right here. So now that it's in idle position, it's still under the tip of the arm there that retains it. And so she returns really nicely. And we're all good. Alright, that's all. I just wanted to show you that quick little fix I did. Take care. We'll see you on the next video. Maybe I'll make this. So if you missed my first video, go back and watch it. I showed how to take the gas tank and stuff all off. What I'm trying to do is add this fuel tank. And to do so, I need to add a Y connector and a new piece of fuel line to this. So I'm pulling this off the barb fitting. And I'm going to kind of just tentatively set them back in here because I have to worry about where the, there we go, where the petcock's going to be here too. If I put that back farther, which is fine, I think what I'm going to do is run both the lines. I'm going to run it out of that tank over to here to the Y. Mount my petcock back here somewhere. Excuse me, might not be seeing. You can't hardly see, but on this back plate somewhere, mount my petcock. Bring the fuel line out of this one, up and over, and the fuel line out of this one back. Now, I don't think this will interfere with me sitting on this any at all. No, not at all. It really doesn't matter where it goes. I gotta look out for this hitting the gas tank, gas cap though. So I think I'm gonna keep it right about there. Now what I've got is I've got some rubber conveyor belt. Okay, I got a couple pieces of this. It's not really conveyor belt. I don't know what it is. It's not quite. I was given a big chunk of it. It's like really dense rubber, and I use it as a mat on the top of my workbench. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put this around here with a little piece of electrical tape. And then mount my saddles right on there like that. It also raises this up a little bit and gives me a little bit more clearance. So let's get those taped on and we'll bolt that on. I've got these little buggers on there. It was a struggle. What I'm doing now is I'm just loosening them up a bit. I'm going to dribble a little blue Loctite underneath the threads now that I know that it fits. Now there's a good spot to get some in right there. There we go. That'll get sucked right into the threads as I tighten. These are 10 millimeters. I'm going to do the same on the other side. I guess you guys don't need to sit and watch me do that. Alright, well, I got the gas tank just setting in here. I attached the fuel line to it. I'm running it back up onto the monkey tank, as they call it. Get it up on there. Get up on there, boy. And squeeze our little clamp. There we go. And turn that around on the other side so she ain't in the way. Perfect. Now, these guys have to go to I can tie that up there. They have to go to a Y. Why? Because we love you. So I'm going to put the Y right here. Now my Y is right here. Another YY. Y. Oh, wait a minute. I need to put a petcock for this one first. So, because there's a petcock on the monkey tank, and there's one on the main bike, but I got to be able to separate the two tanks. So, I have a new petcock off, on. Be nice if I could screw it right there, wouldn't it? I don't know, maybe I'll just tie wrap it someplace for now. That, and then I can put the fuel line, then I can just loop the fuel line right back up. So I'm going to make the executive decision and cut that line from the main fuel tank. Get it out of here. A little extra don't hurt. Sure sucks when it's too short though. Alright. That'd be cool if I could screw this right here, which I think I'm going to drill a hole. I got to figure out how to get a drill in there. I don't want to take the damn tank off again. Maybe I can. If I put it up high, I can take this fuel tank off again. And then we'll drill just for a self-tapping screw. And then this guy has to go into the body. Hello. Oh, all right. Okay. Be right in. Bye.